our Facebook audience also to join. So just give us another session and we are actually live. So awesome. And right on time, Rohit. I love it. Thank you very, very much. So, Sipping Thoughts is very excited today. Actually, I am very excited about this session because this has been on my mind. And today we're talking about something that's very, very important for all of us. And we are very excited today that we can talk about this. It's called Raise the Bar: Presence and the Power of the Self with Poonam Barua, who is an entrepreneur, a global influencer, and an author. We need to become visible as leaders. We keep hearing this saying everywhere. That is why we are bringing this special session where we aim to raise that bar for all the smart and hardworking women professionals and business owners. This session with Poonam, who is a business leader, global influencer, and keynote speaker, will help you realize the power of yourself and understand and how to unleash your energy. So when you join this session, you can demonstrate your presence, manifest your purpose, and transcend those barriers and reach to success. With this session, you will also get an insight into the art of how you're being perceived by others, how to do strategic messaging, and how to ensure that you exert influence at all times, be it in the workplace, at home, or in the community. So before I continue, of course, I would like to tell you a little bit about Sipping Thoughts. So Sipping Thoughts is a multi-platform media company which was co-founded by me, Sukirti Gupta, and Meeta. It was set up keeping in mind the tagline Real Women, Real Thoughts. We wanted to create a no judgment platform and a network of women for women. We also wanted to help that reach out to women through Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and of course our website. And the person you've been waiting for, let me highlight her. And I know a lot of you already know her, but we're very excited today to have Poonam with us. Poonam is an accomplished business leader, an economist, an independent board director. She's the CEO of the Will Forum India and founding chairman of the Forum for Women in Leadership. She founded the Will Forum India with the mission and vision for advancing women in leadership and has over 800 Will mentees from her annual leadership program. Poonam is also one of the top 25 LinkedIn voices of 2019, which highlights professionals in a variety of industries and regions who are building communities and starting thoughtful and meaningful conversations. And this is no small feat. Ms. Poonam also chairs the Will Women on Corporate Board series that is mentoring a robust pipeline of women executives and certifying more than 500 board capable and board informed women executives for corporate board positions since 2015 for making the change for good governance and balanced boards. She is also the co-founder of Rise and Lead Women Summit at The Hague, Netherlands, on the advisory board of the Global Women Connect in Hong Kong, and on the governing board of the Distinguished Vedica Scholars Program for Women in India. I mean, her accolades continue. She is the author of the pioneering book, Leadership by Proxy, The Story of Women in Corporate India. And of course, like I mentioned, she is LinkedIn Top Voices of 2019. But most important, she is fully committed to making that change for women. We're very excited to have you all here. Some housekeeping rules. I know you're all on mute, but that does not mean we do not want this session to be interactive. Please keep chatting. Please keep sending us your session, your questions, your thoughts. We will also please use the raise hand feature. We will unmute you and we would like you to ask your question yourself. Please do keep though your questions related to the topic and to the point because Poonam will be doing a presentation and then she will be doing an experiential session. And after that, we will open it to questions. And as always, we say, please forgive us for any technology glitches because that sometimes is really out of our control. And with that, I welcome you, Poonam, to Sipping Thoughts and a very, very exciting session.
Most excellent, Sukirti. Um, Talking about presencing, I met Sukirti at a lean-in session maybe about 3 months ago. We were on
Yes.
the same panel, and she walked in, with this wonderful clothes, and she sat down on her chair, and I was thinking, okay, she knows how to make her presence. We had a CEO of BlackRock, and I think we had the CEO of another company, I can't remember, and there was myself. So, presencing is something that hits you when somebody simply walks past you. They don't have to walk on stage, but the aura has to hit you. And you have to say, okay, I get it. That is when I met Sukirti. And I'm so delighted that she's invited me to Sipping Thoughts. And while you all sip your tea, or you sip your coffee, or you sip your thoughts, I will try to energize you with the greenery behind, which also includes oxygen, by the way. The more oxygen we have, the better it is for your body systems, for your mind, and for your spirit. When I started the Will Forum in 2007, everybody said to me, "What are you doing? What is this? There is no appetite for women in leadership." And I said, "Yes, I know there is no appetite. But when you want to do something good, you will make the appetite for that." And I've spent nearly 12 years making the appetite for women in leadership, and that is called the power of self. What you believe in, you will get up and you will do, or you want to. You have the power, or you don't have the power. I will stand alone and I will say, no, I'm an economist. I know that 12 years down the line, the most important thing will be how women will add to the leadership agenda. That's the power of self. It hasn't gone, and it's always going to be there. That is presencing, and that is the power of self, which is our topic for today. Now, the first thing I want to ask all of you is, have you brought your presence to the meeting? Did you bring your presence? Okay. What presence did you bring? Are you present to listen? Are you present to learn? Are you present to add value? Are you present to contribute? Presencing has got many different gender levels of maturity. And you need to understand, what is your presence right now? Because whatever presence you have, just remember, cannot be turned off and cannot be turned on. Either you have it or you don't have it. So if you have come and you brought your presence to the meeting, I hope you will all understand that there is value that you have come to get. Now, when you come to look for value and you bring your presence, the next thing you have to say is, what is that value that I am going to do for the meeting today? That is going to be your power of self. What is it about yourself that you are bringing to the meeting? That is your power of self. It doesn't disappear just because you're not visible on audio or not visible on video. I feel your power. I feel your presence. That is the power of self. That you cannot turn it on and you cannot turn it off. It is embedded inside you. Now, how do you understand your power of self? The thing is to ask yourself right now, who am I? Ask yourself the question, who am I? When you say power of self, who is the self? You have many ways to define yourself, but you have to define it. And you can change it every day. You can reboot it every day. There is no problem. You don't have to be stuck with one, who am I? I have a very nice slide on who am I, which I will show you later. And it can have many dimensions. The dimensions can be, I'm an economist, I'm a business leader, I'm an author, I'm the CEO of my company, I'm a CSR person. Nobody can stop me from the many dimensions of who am I that I will be able to roll out like a pack of cards. Sometimes, in fact, I tell everybody that I'm almost like Ravan. You know, I have so many heads. Which one you want? Which one? Okay, take this one. I'll still have another 9. You see what is the benefit of having so many heads and understanding who am I? So that the one head that you have, if you got only one and somebody shoots it down, you still have another 9. Therefore, it's really, really good to understand who am I, and it doesn't have to be the same every day. And then from there, you transcend to, what is it which is my purpose? From who am I to what is my purpose? So we move from presence to power of self to who am I to what is my purpose. Not everybody has the same purpose. Some people don't have a purpose. It is also a purpose not to have a purpose. But then you must be comfortable with the fact that you have no purpose. That is also fine, but be comfortable with it. So it's called higher purpose. And you can do all of this. I have so many, more than 850 mentees over the last 12 years, and they always ask me the same question. How do you do this? How are you like this? How do you speak like this? What do you think is my answer to them, especially the young girls? I just did an online leadership program with 25 women from a company, and they all had the same question after my session. How are you like this? My answer to them was, why are you not like this? What is your problem? What is your problem? Why are you not like this? This is the natural state to be. It's called no barriers. I have no barriers. I have dismantled them one by one. So I'm like this. You got your barriers, that's your problem. Deal with it one by one, dismantle it one by one. And believe me, I've written very clearly in my book, nobody can tell you how to do it. They might guide you, but at the end of the day, you will have to take the pain. You will have to take the pain of dismantling those barriers on your own. I like to go to the gym. So, one of my gym trainers was telling me that, madam, the people come to the gym and they think I'm going to do the exercise and they're going to get slim. You know, he's right. You don't do the push ups. How are you going to benefit if the trainer is going to do the push ups or the coach is going to do the push ups for you? You are going to have to take the pain of doing those 10 push ups. Then only you will get a fine core, right? So don't be wary of pain. It's your shadow. Take it along. Take it along with you. Don't worry about it. It's your shadow. Use it. And when you are able to take the pain, that's when you're able to actually say, I am my own inspiration. I am my own energy. Those are not easy words to say, but you will say them when you have done the push-ups, which means in the business world or in the academic world or in the NGO world, you must have the accomplishment. You must have the stature. You must have done the hard work. You must have been the one that kept the faith. And not everybody has to do it. I'm not recommending it for everybody. Power of self is only for those who actually want power of self. Now, why do you want power of self? This is a question that is often asked. And it's not self-realization, self-actualization. Those are not words I'm using. I'm saying power of self. Why do you need it? I need power of self because I want to influence people. What do I want to influence them for? Things that I believe in. I believe in something and I want to influence my community towards it. I believe that women must be put on boards and I want to influence my community. I can use networking, I can use social media, but it's going to be worth nothing if you and your power does not speak for itself. Your aura doesn't go and touch everybody and say, I have the accomplishment, part of which Sukirti was very, kind enough to read. And, the more you can put under your belt, the more will be your power, the more you'll be able to manifest, the more you will be able to demonstrate, the more the exposure you have, the more you will know that somebody is saying something, you listen, and then you use strategy. That's why I call it strategic purpose. You got to have strategy all the time. I don't know how many of you play chess, but if any of you haven't played chess, please play with your computer now. I think you can now play computer with the chess with the computer. The thing about playing chess, and I used to play that in my college, and of course everybody, they were all men. I was the only lady playing chess those days. But when you make one move, you have to already extrapolate the next 20 moves of everybody else. Okay? Therefore, do not move your pawn until you figured out what everybody else is doing. That's called strategy. You can only do that when you have power of self and you understand how to extrapolate. You will extrapolate only when you understand and you have the exposure and you took the pain. If you didn't do it, you will never know. So these are my opening statements for presence, power of self, who am I, and your higher purpose in life. You have to transcend. You know, somebody asked the other day who was sending me very nice pictures yesterday of their workout, and I was saying, okay, I get it. But after you've got that energy, what are you going to do with it? And they said self satisfaction. And I'm saying, okay, but where is your higher purpose? That means you are in control of your body. You haven't transcended the control of the body to move to a higher purpose. Shall we show the PowerPoint, Sukirti?
Yes, I think just if one question has come in, but I would just like you to put your thoughts on that and we will start the PowerPoint. So a question has come, the power of self, we all want it, but we also want to be more assertive and better planners. So will this also all come with as we develop the power of self?
Well, let me say that when you use the word assertive, you have to understand what do you mean. I was sent when I was in USIS on a course in XLRI by my American Embassy people on assertiveness. And when I got there, within half an hour, the professors came to me and they said, you really don't need this. You're already assertive. I hadn't asked a single question. I hadn't done anything. I was simply sitting and listening like everybody else. But my power of self and my aura of presence and my looks were such that they thought they got the wrong person for this program. So, assertiveness is something which is critical, but should not be taken as assertiveness in the sense that I am rigid and I'm not going to move from here. Assertiveness means you have asserted your presence. Everybody in the room knows they cannot ignore you. They don't have to agree with you, they don't have to disagree with you, but they cannot ignore your presence. That's called assertiveness, to my mind. When you walk into the
Right.
boardroom, everybody says, who is she?
That.
I may never speak. I may never speak. I may spend the whole board meeting doing nothing, but they'll all be thinking, what is she going to say?
Wow. Rohit, please start the slides.
Thank you. So let us raise the bar together for everybody. And I still remember when we launched the Will Forum in Infosys in Bangalore, I remember Mr. Narayanan Murthy gave us the boardroom. I will forever be grateful to him in 2007. And in the evening, I took all the women who were with us to Lemon Tree. There was a hotel, a small little place opposite called Lemon Tree. And I remember telling them, can you please raise the bar of your discussion? Can you get past this women's thing? Can you get past family policies? Can you talk about balanced leadership? Finally, the next day when I went to the meeting, they all got up and said, raise the bar. You know, you have to continuously raise the bar. And I think we had the CEO of a very large company who spoke to our mentees. And he also said, go past your limits. And I said to him, but I don't have any limits. I am limitless. That's the meaning of raise the bar. There is no bar. Just be limitless. How can you be limitless? When you are energy itself. So this was seeding the mission. And at that time, I was very clear it's not about women, it's about women in leadership. From 20 women, we went to 6,000. Only power of self. We have no investors, no great partners, nothing. We were just knowing that this job has to be finished. Next, Rohit. So how will you get the power of self? Open your mind right now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Open your mind now. Listen. Even when there are so many other women who are not talking, try to listen to them. I know it sounds like telepathy, but yes, there is telepathy. There is such a thing as telepathy. I've got all these trees and all this grass. I'm getting a lot of energy from them. Are they talking? No, but I'm getting something from them. It's called telepathy. So, how do you get the power of self? Open your mind. I think you all know who this fearless girl is. Have no inhibitions, have a natural state of self, which I already told you. Get some confidence, and please align your body, mind, and your spirit now as we speak. Don't wait till tomorrow. Right now, align your body, mind, and spirit in one straight line. Don't let your mind go anywhere. Don't let your body go anywhere. Hang them on your spirit. Whatever your spirit is saying, hang it there. Next one. So, who am I? I want all of you to make the slide for yourself at some point. Okay, not because it's important for me, but it's important for you. And if you already know this, that's even better. You don't have to make the slide. But it's really important to tell yourself, who am I? And there must be many things on that. It doesn't, I've given this to our mentees, and they'll write, I'm strong. No, 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 we're not looking for strength here. We're not looking for your good points or your bad points. We're looking for, who are you? How do you identify yourself? Okay, it's not about your good points or your bad points. It's about, what what do you want everybody else to see in you? And you must be having that accomplishment, not that you're going to accomplish. And if you don't have it, please fix your slide. That was a butterfly. Please fix your slide. Do something about your slide so that 2 years down the line, when you look at it, the who am I becomes clear. Next one, Rohit. So, one of the main things that I think is important to understand when you're doing power of self is that you can never do this alone. Power of self is something where you energize the community with your power. I'm not saying you get the power from them, you give the power to them. And each one of them is giving power to everybody else. So, presence has to be grown. Grow your presence. You do that by creating what I call stiletto networks. You know, this whole thing about networking, I sometime, please go to YouTube and look at my video on networking with a purpose. If you're just networking, it's called socializing. We're not talking here about socializing. We're saying grow your presence and have stiletto, that is women's networks. Get your voice heard. You cannot have a presence if your voice is not heard. That doesn't mean you should speak. You can write poetry, you can do art, you can do pottery, but please get your voice heard. You can get your voice heard via books. You can get your voice heard via music, but get your voice heard. That is also a way of presencing. Bond with your networks, as we're doing right now with Sipping Thoughts. Next one. So I have got some great learnings. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I've just put one slide. Please get visible anytime, anywhere, anytime. Okay, if somebody asks you to do something, get up. I still remember when I went to the Tata Group long time ago, and Dr. J.J. Irani, who was on the board of the Tatas at that time, I said to him, how come you don't have a woman on the Tatas board? And he said, Poonam, where are the women? I don't see them. He doesn't see them. You see, he's saying, I see you all the time. I'm not in his office all the time. It's the only time I went to his office, but I am visible. I am visible with my presence, with my content, with what I have to say. And I make sure that I don't mind saying it. And I've done my homework, I've done my rigor. It's very, very difficult to get past what I've done, because if you do 10 push-ups, I will do 30. No problem. So you have to be visible for people to see you. And please unleash your power of self with strategy and purpose. Please remember these words. You cannot just unleash your power in the middle of nowhere. Remember why you're doing it and what is the outcome you want from releasing your power, right? You have the power, we know. When you demonstrate it, make sure you get the outcome you're looking for. Next one. So this is for you, for your guidance. Reboot every day. When you get up in the morning, I don't know what people do, but here's what I do. When I open my eyes, I say, oh, what a gift. I got one more day. I have no clue when I go to sleep if I'm going to get the next day or not. We must be extremely pragmatic about our mortality. So if I get the next day and I get another gift, first thing I do is reboot. Reboot. Clear up my mind. Everything is zero. Start from scratch. Start from a clear slate reboot. Fresh energy every day. Then you listen to your inner voice. What does your voice say today? And the voice won't say the same thing every day. How many lives are you going to touch today? Are you going to put 10% extra in that passion? You know, passion is a much cliched word. I have absolutely no desire for passion. Everybody keeps telling me you're so passionate when you speak. I said, look, this has got nothing to do with passion. I'm just looking for the outcome of what I'm saying so that this job is done. That is the 10% extra you're putting in passion. You want to finish the job, not just be passionate about it. A human soul on fire is unstoppable. That is not my quotation. And you never know when is the tipping point. Maybe your tipping point is right now as we're speaking. Who knows? Who knows when you're sitting on your tipping point? That is why you must have power of self. You might be sitting on your tipping point right now and you do not know. Next one. So determine your presence today. These are some of our mentees. I took their photographs as they were going through our session, you know, and look at the presence. Somebody's got a, is questioning, somebody's listening, somebody's curious. Everybody has a different presence. But I told them you must be fully aware of the presence you have. Okay. I know the presence I have right now, what I'm conveying to somebody, and I haven't turned it on, I haven't turned it off. I'm like this all the time. Similarly, with the mentees, I kept telling them, you got to be comfortable with your presence and then embed it in yourself. Next one. So this is my workout guidance to everybody. Please align your body, mind, and spirit. Those 10 push-ups are myself and another lady. When we do the Will Web Mentoring Program every morning from 6 to 7, not web mentoring, sorry, the leadership program. 6 to 7, we do workout. And if I'm going to speak all day with my wonderful faculty, you know, I better go do the workout also so that people don't think that I'm not doing it. And it's good to raise the bar. It's good to raise the bar for everybody and say, okay, this is where we are at right now, and this is where we must align our body, mind, and spirit. I just don't know how they have these conferences for 10 days and 5 days without putting in any workout time or, you know, relaxation time or walking time. They just have cocktail times. Okay, next one. So these are some quick directions for yourself every morning. Did you align your body, mind, and spirit? Did you build and store your energy? Not make the energy. Did you store it so that when you don't have it, you can call upon it? That's called power of self. You know how to call upon your energy. You don't need it from anybody else. Did you enhance your beliefs, your conviction? Did you keep the faith? Or were you always worried about where it's going to go? Did you keep the faith? Did you aspire for more? And did you seize the opportunity? I'm really delighted you're all here today because at least I know you seized the opportunity of the session. Next one. So we'll go to the last one. You are a product of your own exposures. Next one, Mr. Rohit. I think we're running out of time. I want to listen to everybody. I want to leave you all with a quotation. And at the end of this, those of you who are on chat can tell me where I got the quotation from. The question is not who is going to let me. The question is who's going to stop me. Can we just ask the right question? Who's going to stop me? I want to see that face. I want to know what does the face look like so that I can deal with it. You know, it's not a question not letting me do this. I have yet to see the face of the person who's going to stop me or the thing that's going to stop me. I am unstoppable. But the question is, where do I want to go? There I'm unstoppable, not unstoppable everywhere, right? Okay, Sukirti, over to you, please. We will do a small demonstration after you speak.
Oh, sure. Do you want to? Yes. So did we want to take some questions now, or do you want to take the demonstration?
Well, I think we should do a little demo so that everybody gets a
Yes.
chance to
Perfect. I'm
present.
excited.
Well, one of the things that I want all of you to do after this quick talk is tell us in one word, uh, what is your presence? What, what is your presence today? And then I will tell you mine last. How do you define your presence? Not 2 words, 3 words, just one word. Let us start, Sukirti.
I would say happy.
Happy? Very nice.
Happy. So please do share, everyone, if you want to share what your presence is. But I think for me, that is the part that I really feel that if I had to encapsulate it in one word, it would be happy. Smiling, happy.
And how do you define happiness, Sukirti?
To me, it is that positive outlook that I feel that today is going to be a good day. It's going to be a positive day. And I strive to make sure that I keep my mood into that positive thoughts and creating that smiling, happy kind of culture. I love to smile. So that's why I said it's between smiling and happy is where I would define my presence.
Very nice. I think positivity is one of the big strengths that women have brought to the table in the time of the pandemic. Let us never forget, empathy, positivity, learnability, and adaptability and flexibility. So you are demonstrating one of those key leadership qualities of self-presence in happiness, which is called positivity.
Some of the others that are coming in from people creative, natural self, passionate, intellectual, confident, grateful, optimistic, positive, serene, gratitude, mindful.
How about limitless? Nobody wants to be limitless.
Oh, that's a lovely one. Yes.
How come nobody wants to be limitless? Just a question. I would like to throw these at you so that you might think about them at some point. How come you don't want to be irresistible? You know what I mean by irresistible? Your presence is irresistible, which means, like I said, people may not agree with you or disagree with you, but they can't ignore you. Your presence is irresistible. They think that you have something to say or there's something you've accomplished that they want to hear. I'm just giving words like limitless, irresistible, which I particularly like to be, uh, which has got a little more power in it because we're talking about power of self. I think it's nice to have all the others, and if that's comfortable for you, it's okay. I am talking about exuding power without saying much.
I like the irresistible quite a lot. That means that people are waiting to see or hear what you're going to say,
Yeah,
or they're going to approach you.
and even approaching you is a different thing when you're irresistible. Um, I still think that once when I was at one of these so-called ashrams, and I won't say which one, and I went, at lunchtime. The so-called guru was there. I'd gone there to give a speech. I wasn't there for any ashram stuff. And during the lunchtime, I went to him, and he saw me from far, and he said, "Do not ask me any difficult questions." You see what I mean by irresistible? How does he know what I'm going to ask him? I just look like I'm going to ask him difficult questions.
So one question, can it be developed or, does it take time? Because you have such a strong presence, but let's suppose somebody who says, okay, I don't feel so confident.
Yes. Confidence has nothing to do with presence. All right. It's a very, very small portion of presence. And 80% of your presence is intentional. Okay. It's not can be developed, it has to be developed. All right. How do you develop it? Like I said, it has nothing to do with confidence. Confidence is a side dish. It's not that you're confident so you have presence. You have presence so you are confident. I give an example to some of our mentees during our program that when I was a young girl in college in Miranda House, those days we're talking about St. Stephen's College being a big bastion for men. And there was nobody ever going anywhere. So I started the debating society in Miranda House, and I used to go for the debates. And St. Stephen's College has got this massive, overpowering auditorium, from these old British times. And a small little girl, here I am, and half an hour before they gave us the topic, because it was extempore debate. And I went for this debate, and they gave us the topic half an hour before. So, and when I went to the stage, they had all paper planes ready. And 500 people were throwing paper planes at me. And I just carried on speaking as if there was nobody in the audience. That is how I built my presence. I got the confidence after I built my presence, not before. I wasn't confident when I went on stage and faced all those people planes. I was simply thinking, okay, nobody's here. It's just me alone. Let's go. And I did my thing. And we walked away with the prize. And they never lived that down, you know. It was like we got to take away the trophy back from Miranda House next year. So confidence is an outcome of presence. It's not the first part of it.
So one of the questions that always comes up when you start thinking about presence, you want to, I mean, especially nowadays, we want like a 10-step plan, do this, do this, do this. Is that possible? Or how does one start? I know you said think about the question of who am I? Think about the question of, yes, let us move to what is my purpose, and think about what is that one word that I want to describe me. But how do we emulate that and make it come out?
Get up in the morning first and reboot. And I'm serious. I'm not joking. I'm saying get up in the morning and reboot. That's the first thing you got to do. Do not take yesterday's baggage with you. It's like driving a car. You got to first take the windshield and clear everything. Okay? So you will see the road. You cannot see that 10-step plan, which all these coaches and mentors are going to give you, which is called the road, when your windshield is dirty. I am telling you how to clean your windshield. It's not my job to give you the road because the 10-step plan you will take depending on what you want to do. Which road, which highway, where do you want to go? Satal, Nainital, where do you want to go? My job is to clear your windshield. That is called power of self and presencing. So when you get up in the morning, remove the dust, remove the clutter, take off your excess baggage. Who am I today? And it's not a question which I'm using lightly. I'm extremely articulate when I use these words. Who am I today? What does my side view mirror show me? What does my front view mirror show me in the car? Remember, when you have power of self, you're on the driving seat. You're not giving it to some mentor or coach to sit down on the driving wheel. I'm on the driving wheel. I just need my windshield to be clean. And then I will decide which road I want to go on. This is the way you have to think. That is why my book is called Leadership by Proxy, because leadership by proxy doesn't work. You have to be your own leader. If you proxy, then you'll always be looking for proxy. You'll never be the power yourself.
So when
So
you
I
look at, sorry, go ahead.
explains this whole 10 step. This explains this whole 10 step, quick formula thing. The quick formula thing will work only when your mind is clear to embrace the formula. I'm first saying, can you clear your mind?
Now, one more question that everybody, or when we think about presence, people tell us how we should stand, how we should look, how we should talk. So a lot of these kind of skills always come into the question that, okay, you should sit like this, you shouldn't sit like this, you shouldn't cross your legs, and all of these power positions that we are taught. Do they work? I mean, is that part of developing your presence, learning all of these kind of rules?
20%, 20%. There's a pie chart, PIE, okay? It's called the pie chart. P is for your performance. What is your accomplishment? What is your stature? What is it that you bring to the table? What is your content? How much rigor have you got? Two is your image, which is what you're talking about. That's one third, your image. So the image is not exactly about how you're dressed. The image is not about how is your hair. The image is how neat and clean are you. Okay, then they will know whether you're transparent or you're not. There are many messages inbuilt into how you behave or the way I'm sitting. So easy for me to slink back into my chair, but hey, I'm going to be sitting like this because that's my presence all the time. I just don't do this. So I'm not saying you should, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but people will read into these things. They will read into how the chairman is sitting. They will read into how the mom is sitting in the house. They will read to how. So I would say one third is very important, and it is very intentional what I'm doing. If I'm stopping, it's intentional. If I'm speaking, it's intentional. If I have diction and I have delivery, I'm doing it on purpose. Let me give you a quick example. Uh, Sukirti, bring the water. Sukirti, bring the water. Sukirti, bring the water. In the same way, I have given 3 different messages. One on Sukirti, one on water, one on bring. How you deliver is so important and it's intentional. You have to figure out how to do diction and delivery, and then you have to attend to it. You don't just say sentences in monotones and then you pause because you want to see what the other people are thinking. You have to give them time to process. That is 1/3. So, what is the other 1/3 of the pie chart? Performance, image, and the third part is exposure. If you did not have, and that's what I mean by the pain and the exposure, if you did not have the exposure, you did not go out, skiing, you didn't do many things, you didn't become a visiting fellow, you didn't do things, that exposure is very low. You didn't do famine relief in Rajasthan, you won't know how these people feel when they don't have water to drink for 20 days. You won't know. That exposure is very important. And so when you have these 3 together, I think each one of them has 1/3 equal contribution to your presence.
Fantastic. I know, because I think a lot of us, I don't know, are molded into that 1/3 part. That, okay, we have to focus on how we look, how we dress, how we talk. And that has really been in a lot of the, I mean, I've attended so many webinars, so many courses, and the focus has been on that 1/3 pretty much most of the time.
I know. And that's why in the Will Leadership Program, I always say, those who say, there'll be companies who say, well, we do this internally. And I'm saying, yes, that's like a frog in a well. You sit down in the well and you don't know what the rainbow upstairs looks like. You're perfectly fine in your well and that's okay. But that's not what you want everybody to know. There is no power in being just the frog in the well. The power is in being able to look up and see the rainbow. So, or rather the kaleidoscope, which I mean by the power. So that's exposure. And I think it's really important that you do cross industry. This one-on-one mentoring, I don't understand. You've got to have cross industry, cross community, cross function so that you have exposure. Because at the end of the day, in your workplace, in the boardroom, in CXO positions, in operating units, and on the field, it's a mix of everybody.
So I'm going to take a question, very interesting one that's come from Anushri. Anushri, please go ahead.
Hi, so Preeti, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Thanks, Poonam. This was such an insightful and such an awesome session. A lot of takeaways from it. Thank you so much for it. One question that I have wanted to understand in the current environment that we are operating in work from home, how to create that presence or power of self in a virtual environment, in reviews, meetings, when everything is like in a virtual mode on Zoom meetings or on MS Teams and all.
Yeah. So, I just on a side dish, I want to say that we've started this thing called Agile Leadership. And I'm not so sure if I agree with everything it has, but uh, we are virtual right now. And you're saying I gave an awesome session. Which part of me looked awesome to you? All right. One is that I've got good lighting. Okay. I'm on the 1/3 part of image right now. Okay. I'm on the 1/3 part of image. Make sure you're writing down your notes. Make sure you got good lighting. Without good lighting, without good ambience at the back, without anything, you're not going to be able to make an impression. Two, no matter how long you sit, if you sat me down for the next 4 hours, I would still be sitting like this. Make sure that you sit like you mean business. Okay? It's very important. I know people like to have fun at work. Okay, I'm just not one of those. I'm one of those who likes to have power of self, and I want everybody else to understand it. I don't want to impose it. I want everybody to understand it. So you've got to be sure that you're sitting properly. I'm not saying erect, but sitting properly throughout the meeting. And that's why I'm saying body, mind, and spirit, because until your body is fine, you're not going to be able to sit like this. Okay. So you got to be sure that your body is aligned. And so lighting, then make sure your body posture is correct. Number 3, always have your diction right. Do not jump into your sentence. Pause a little. Deliver it properly. Make sure you know who you're talking to. Don't just talk to the screen. Right now, I'm talking to Anushri. I even know your name. Okay? I know who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to Sukirti right now. Be very sure you're not talking to a laptop or a screen. Be sure that you know the name of the person you're talking to. Do your homework beforehand. Number three, if you ever need to use body language, use it. You see how I'm using my hands. I'm not doing it because I'm trying to do it. I'm doing it because that's the way I am. I use my hands when I want to convey something that I think my hands will help me to do. So, this is the image part. On the exposure part, it is extremely easy for anyone online to write you off. Okay, within 5 minutes of my opening the session, I hope none of you turned off your cameras or logged out of the session. The exposure of doing this so many times has given me the power to keep your attention going because I have the exposure. I know how to keep your attention, but I can't keep the attention of those who don't want to give me attention anyway. But those who are sitting on the fence, I'll get your attention. That's my exposure. So please try to do more of these. Do them with us, do them with me, do them with the Will Forum. Keep doing them until you figure out how to keep my attention. Very difficult to get my attention, but if you do this with me, I will make sure that you know that you can keep my attention going. Okay, that means you can get everybody's attention going.
Poonam, is there a lot of practice also then, from what I'm hearing?
There's a difference between practice and exposure.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm not using the word practice. I don't think practice makes anything. It's called zero. It's called exposure. There is a difference between practice and exposure. You can practice running on the field, but do you really have the exposure of deep breathing, which is required for running on the field? Exposure is a whole ballgame, and practice is only part of it. Okay, so you need to have the exposure, and you must get it wherever you can. That's why in my thing I said go get the exposure wherever you can. And it doesn't mean that you should sit and listen to web mentoring. Go and get the exposure wherever you need it. If you need to listen to Sri Ravi Shankar, okay, but make sure you got some exposure there. If you needed to listen to a song or music to get some exposure, fine. It's not practice, because practice is an action. Exposure is taking the action and embedding it within you. There's a difference between the two.
Fantastic. I'm glad I clarified that because I wanted to make sure I was understanding correctly. So we will take a question from Ritambra and then from Damini. Ritambra, please go ahead.
Hi, Poonam. It's a very insightful session. Thanks for inviting. I have a question regarding the fears and the comfort zone that we are in. So, how do you think that we can get rid of the past fears of having faced the stereotypes and to step out of that comfort zone, or say that is the zone of fear that we are in?
Good. Now, most of the people have this opinion that I'm in a state of denial, which I'm not. You can imagine if I'm like this, how much I must have been through. So the first thing you need to do is to say, I have no fear. Believe me, it's important to say, just like you have to say, I'm the best. The minute you say, I don't have any fear, that doesn't mean you're going to be in denial of the fear. That means you will identify the fear and you will dismantle it one by one. You have to dismantle it. Okay, so the stereotypes will exist. You think I haven't seen them? The minute I used to start talking, of course not now, but when I started the Forum for Women in Leadership, I would start speaking at a conference in SHRM, and everybody in the audience would kind of like start giggling or something. I don't remember what it was in Mumbai. And I said, okay, now we're going to stop for 2 minutes. Whoever wants to smile can smile, and then we will get back to serious. I take the fear by its horns. It's not easy, but I am willing to pay the penalty. If everybody walks out of the auditorium after that, that's fine with me because I have conviction. So the thing is, these are all intertwined: conviction, belief. So the stereotypes will exist. You cannot wish them away. There is no way you can wish them away. I'm at the point where if I enter the meeting now, they'll say, oh my God, look who's come to the meeting. Previously, I was at the point where I would enter the meeting and say, oh, who's she? the stereotypes will exist. Okay? Please don't ignore them. Dismantle them in your head one by one. Like I went and dismantled the auditorium while I was speaking one by one. It's the only way. It's the only way. You have to just dismantle it. And in your mind, you have to be absolutely clear that it's there and it's not going to bother you. In my lifetime, I don't think you can get rid of the gender stereotypes. In my lifetime, no. Maybe in your lifetime because you're younger than me. Now, regarding the comfort zone. The comfort zone is something which, I think 95% of the women are in and the men. Okay. Who gets past their comfort zone? Not those who use presence terms that keep them in their comfort zone. Please change and flip your presence to a word that will take you out of your comfort zones. For example, in my book, I've written, I'm looking for the hungry women. Where are the hungry women? How come I don't see the hungry women? Where are they? So, those of you who are in your comfort zone are not the hungry women I'm looking for. The only way to get out of your comfort zone is to be hungry. It's like you didn't eat food all day. Give it to me now. You have to be restless. So, when people attend my sessions, leadership meetings, they always say, what would you like to do? People, the general tendency is for get everybody home nicely, let them have a good sleep. My thing is that when you go home, I want you not to sleep. I want you to be completely restless. I want you to say, what is she saying? What was she trying to say? That's the kind of comfort zone I want you to get out of so that you can't sleep at night. I want hungry women because those are the ones who are going to achieve the power of self. Those are going to have a good night's sleep without wondering what was the problem or what was I trying to learn. Will stay in the comfort zone the next day. And when they come, I will know who stayed in the comfort zone and who's the hungry woman. I will know.
I like the question actually even Damini asked because I think it's a lot about introverts and extroverts. So I'm asking it on her behalf because and then I want to come to Nirmala next because a lot of introverts feel, oh, this is too much for me.
So first of all, we must dismantle the HR jargon, which is called introvert and extrovert or whoever invented it. There is no such thing. There are only people. They call human beings and they are wired in certain ways. That's it. Now, some people can be wired in one way, some people can be wired in another way, and it doesn't have to do with introvert or extrovert. Every human being, and I mean everyone, has the capacity to unleash their power. Putting words like left brain, right brain, hey, I don't know which brain, you got only one brain, and it's the biggest muscle in your body. I really don't understand. So my own submission would be, first get rid of the jargon. Stick with fundamentals. Stick with fundamentals. I'm not an introvert. I'm not an expert. I just am. Okay, what do I want to do? I want to do this. Okay, how do I do this? This is how I do it. Can I do it? Yes. Can I not do it? No. If I can't do it, what are the barriers in front of me? Who's going to stop me? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like a formula. It's like a formula. You have to get rid of the jargon. Clean your windshield. We don't want anything in front of us. Get onto the wheel, drive it.
Nirmala, go ahead. Please ask your question.
Yeah, Poonam, I've been really enjoying your session. Look forward to my point. It's really interesting. I had a question like, does everyone has a natural style of presence, or do a lot of people cultivate it? And do you recommend cultivating a style and then you stick to that style? Just now, just to give an example, it could be you or Guru or Shri Ravi Shankar. Moment you hear, it's in a typical style that they answer questions and talk. Because I think consistency should be there people to identify with you, but should it be a natural thing or do you cultivate a style?
Okay, remember I said it is 80% intentional. 80% intentional, 80% intentional. You have to cultivate what style you want. Okay, and it doesn't mean you're going to go out and practice it. No, 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 no. It means that for 20 years or 10 years, this is what you're going to be like all the time, at home, with the kids, with your husband, with the workforce, wherever you are, with the kirana store, wherever you are, you're going to be like this. You're going to thank them. Hello, ji, kaise hain ji? Okay, but business-like, G for respect, but business-like and to the point. You have to cultivate it, and then everybody will know that this is how you are. It's or how you dress. You got to dress in any style. Okay, fine. Stick with the style. Don't put too much of jewelry, and there's nothing wrong with it. I have nothing against it. What it does, I'm saying, is that it distracts from your style. If your style is to distract people, okay, but be intentional that my style is to distract people from myself. Okay, I'm not being judgmental. I'm saying be sure that you know what is the style message you want to convey, and then stick with it. I want a style message that says no nonsense. So I try to be like this for the last 30 years. I'll dress up in a way it has nothing to do with what I'm wearing. My diction and my aura is no nonsense. Just It helps me get past the gender stereotype. It helps me make people not have too many judgments. It helps me people keep them at a distance. It's not a very good thing, but it has helped me overcome the gender issues by being like this. Everybody's going to have to find their own way. You cannot be comfortable with all. I have found the best ways to keep my distance, and it helps me overcome, which means that I'm not ignoring it, I'm not denying it, I'm just saying, okay, leave it, leave, that's the clutter.
Wow, that was fantastic. I think, I mean, unfortunately, we are running out of time. The questions will not stop, but I think for me, it was really eye opening. I think, especially the words and the phrases that we use. The second part, the diction, I think a lot of us don't think about that. Third, for me, especially the pausing, because I tend to go into run on sentences. So I think a lot of takeaways for me. I love the pie. So I think that is something, because you've explained it so nicely, it will definitely remain in my mind for a long time. And with that, I'd like to just have your closing thoughts, because I know now that we're coming to the end of the session.
Well, thank you. First of all, Sukirti, I think you summarized it so nicely. When I wrote the book, I always say to myself, I wrote it because I will forget what I'm saying. So, when somebody like you says something, I say, okay, she gets it. So you're already, as far as I'm concerned, my will mentee, and you're going to be able to speak for me. And I want to say this to all of the women who are on the show. Everybody who heard me today will be able to speak in my place. That's how presencing goes.
Fantastic. So I think the big thing is, let us all be limitless. And with that, I think we thank everyone for joining us today. I know it's beautiful. It's beautiful in Delhi. It's absolutely stunning where you are. So with that, we wish you all a very, very happy Friday and a very good night.
And
So
I
we are
want to
signing off.
that you'll
Go
all
ahead.
just want to say you'll all find me on LinkedIn. I did
Yes.
not do the LinkedIn top 25. I am LinkedIn top 25, along with, Kiran Bedi and Sadhguru and so on. But you will find me on LinkedIn. And I would like each one of you to connect with me, simply because I want to raise the bar for all of you. Just raise it.
Thank you. We're wishing you all a very good night.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Sukirti. Thank you, everyone, for joining.